episode of Doctor Who Time and Space, hosted by the buddies in space and time, Lewis Moon and Deacle. And this week we're on for a search for a new catchphrase, aren't we?
We are. Oh, what we're going to come up with? We have to think about it as the show comes on. I'm sure we can come up with something witty and cool.
I'm sure we can somehow.
We've had lots of as we always have every week, really, don't we?
Yeah.
But we have different technical problems every week. This week we've had a blowing up computer problem, but hopefully we'll get through it.
Hopefully.
Talking about technical problems, probably should just apologise about the sound in the last week's show.
Oh yes. Hopefully it's all right.
Hopefully, I'm going to try it.
Deacle's going to have a little test.
Yeah.
And
so, what do you think happened last week?
Well, sadly, the sound was a bit weird on last week's show. So
yeah, it was a bit, wasn't it? It was sort of a little bit distorted.
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and have a little look to see if I can work out how we actually find. Do you know? I don't even know how we find the live shows. I don't know how.
Go to my channel.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, it was very distorted, which probably made it very difficult for anyone that was listening to it. So we do apologise about that.
Yeah, we do apologise, and we didn't know it was happening.
Yeah.
Please accept our apologies.
Please accept our apologies. We wouldn't have done it deliberately.
No, we wouldn't
have done. We didn't want to sound all distorted.
And we tried to.
We wanted to sound pleasant.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you do find that is the case, and we are getting a sort of a really rubbish sound, perhaps just drop us a message or something.
Drop us a message.
And we'll stop the show and go back and try and sort it out.
Yes, maybe. Even though we don't want to stop the show, we don't want to.
We hate to do that, wouldn't we? But sometimes you have to. Yeah. Okay. So
we finally found the video.
Finally found it.
Finally found the video.
So
it's definitely in headphones, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So in this episode, it looks like I'm going to be doing the in this episode bit on my own.
Yeah, well, that's right. What is in this episode? I've sorted it. Everything's fine today.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. So in episode 163, we will be discussing Doctor Who, from hint in the title, in all other sources of media, in all of its glory, how it's developed over the years in different sources of media other than just television.
We'll also we'll be giving one of our legendary reviews. We'll be doing one of the 10th Doctor episodes. What was the name of the episode?
Daleks in Manhattan. Evolution of the Daleks.
Evolution of the Daleks.
We have some more news and views from the universe.
We do. We'll be doing one of our 3-minute rants.
And we'll be pressing the magic randomizer button yet
again. How can I forget that?
How could anyone?
First up, what have you been up to? What have you been up to this week?
Well, this week, been doing not necessarily too much Doctor Who stuff. Back to that again. Listened to another part of my audio drama.
How's that going?
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually feel that it could be a Doctor Who story.
Which one is it again?
It's Terra Firma.
So that's,
I have listened to
yeah?
Last week, as I said, I couldn't remember it, but I had listened to some big finishes before, starring Peter Davidson, I think it was. But this is my second set of delves into Big Finish history. This is the first for a long time. It was 4 years ago since I last listened to it, or 5 maybe. But I've also downloaded 2 more audio stories, short parts of the story for free from the Dorm special code thing, which was the first part of the War Doctor first box set and the first part, the 11 from Doom Coalition. The whole of the 11, and they're about over 1 hour each, I think.
That's really good, isn't it?
It is for free. Yeah, freebie.
You can't knock a freebie. So what's your take on the Big Finish stuff that you've been listening to, and are you enjoying the Terraform one?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. is it good to hear a bit more of the Eighth Doctor? Because we've always said it
is good to hear a bit of the Eighth Doctor, and I love Big Finish, and a bit of trivia from last week, which we'll probably talk a bit more about audios, I suppose, in our other sources of media later on in the show. But as we learned a bit of trivia last week from watching one of Batman March's videos, that he's been in 96 audio stories.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
I know.
Who'd have? So actually, that makes him probably
the longest,
the most prolific Doctor of the lot, isn't it?
Well, Tom Baker's had quite a few audios, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Including, if you include the TV ones.
Yeah.
He's the most prolific audio Doctor, at least.
So I mean, that's quite exciting, isn't it? What you mentioned about the that they were playing some of the Big Finish stuff on Radio 4. Have you got around to listening to any of that?
No, I haven't actually.
Because that you can still stream at the moment, I think, on
iPlayer.
On iPlayer, yeah.
I don't know whether I'll get the chance to watch that one. But with Colin Baker and Maggie Staples, you talked about that last week. You
also said that you were watching Ghostlight.
Yeah, I haven't watched any more of that.
So you see, you
should be watching that sometime this week. Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully.
So what? So I mean, what about non-Who related stuff?
As always, I've been watching more Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
I'm on series 7 now.
So you've actually got further into it. Cause I never actually watched it. I don't think from seasons. I think season 6 was the last season I've watched.
I finished series 6.
Yeah.
Now it's into the sort of weaker era of Red Dwarf. Doesn't really feel like Red Dwarf anymore.
You said earlier on that in many respects the effects got better, and therefore it didn't feel. Perhaps,
the episodes got worse quality, I suppose.
But the effects got better, and maybe that took a little bit of the shine off of it.
It's still quite funny, but not as funny. It's not as good.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. Anything else you've been watching?
Don't think so.
So we would get a bio earlier on, wasn't it? We went to watch Futurama on.
No.
And we couldn't get to view
it.
No. On Netflix. Alas, it was no longer there.
Oh.
So, other things you've probably been watching your usual array of Simpsons, I'd imagine. Have you been watching The Simpsons?
Yeah, I usually do most days.
Yeah. See, myself, as per the last few weeks, I've been feeling much better, so I'm not coughing my guts up quite as much as I have. I've still got a little bit of a cough, but it's not too bad now. But I've still been really tired. I've still not really watched very much. So I think still the limit of my viewing, other than the Doctor Who episodes that we watched together and we'll talk about later on the show, was yet again Game of Thrones.
And you did do a new video on your channel for last. Mark Freak Super Geek with a C. Marks with a C. So you can find that YouTube video, Maggie the Frog, Valancourt Theory, was it? Is that how you pronounce it?
Valancourt, which is basically means little brother. And part of my surmising turned out to be correct. But I won't go into any detail in case people haven't watched Game of Thrones yet. But the first part of my prediction came true. Let's see what the rest of it does.
Hopefully Decor here will be doing more regular videos on this channel.
I think so. I hope so, yeah. It's like more often than one every year or something. That's what it seems to be at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, I really enjoy making videos, and I'd like the channel to pick up a little bit.
Not just one a year.
Not just one a year. So so I've got an idea. I'm thinking that, again, it'd be a Game of Thrones one, but I'm thinking about doing my predictions for the end of season 6.
Okay. When it comes back, are you going to do any Walking Dead videos?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's going to be the intention. I might even, if I can get around to watching more of my Blake Sevens, I might do a wrap up of each season of that as well, possibly. Cool. So I really love the idea of doing some more videos. I mean, like you do with this channel that people are listening to now, your Mr. Lewis Moon channel.
Yeah, it still doesn't get too many videos necessarily.
Well,
the podcast is the most frequent video. I
think the problem is, isn't it, is that the whole thing that this isn't a YouTube based podcast, but it's quite time consuming making videos, isn't it? And particularly like this after you're at school and I'm working and I've got the band and stuff like that. So it's quite difficult getting as much time as perhaps we'd like. Because I think ideally you probably would do a video every week, couldn't you?
Yeah, I would. I do videos as much as I could actually.
Particularly when you then add in like the figure adventures and stuff as well. Yeah. So it's quite prolific, isn't it?
I mean, I suppose I do have time to do some smaller videos which don't need much editing or anything.
Yeah, that's right. I think a lot of it that takes the time is doing things like adding in the links and stuff like that. It's better for the viewing experience, but it does take a little bit of time. It does. But actually, if you do things like the Hangouts, even if you do like a video thing with the Hangout, it's quite quick and easy, isn't it?
It is.
So, and hopefully you enjoy it.
Hopefully, folks. And tell us if you are.
Yeah, we always like having a chat with people. So we've always got the option, unless it blows up, we've got 2 computers running. So if anyone wants to chat to us during the podcast, feel free to do so, and we'll try and correspond back.
Yeah, should we open it as a link?
I think I have already, actually.
Yeah. So if you're listening now, comment live if you want to.
Yeah.
Or comment after the video if you're watching at this point.
Good stuff.
So, and we'll keep checking every now and again, and maybe after each feature.
Yeah. Okay, so
we probably won't get that.
So let's crack on then with the first item, the news.
Yes. Okay.
Have we any news this?
We do have a bit.
Yeah.
Some interesting news.
Okay.
I won't reveal any spoilers because this is a spoiler-free podcast. Yeah. Unless we hear some spoilers, which we don't think are spoilers, like we did when Matt Smith came in to do that. So, some interesting news that Radio Times revealed on their website first, I think, earlier on in the week, was that Peter Capaldi has revealed that he's filmed something new concerning former companion Clara Oswald. Is
there no getting rid of that woman? Is she just gonna turn up again?
Every series.
Yeah,
she becomes the companion again.
She'll be the companion again at the end of the season. That's what our prediction is, folks. So
then she'll die again.
What do we know about this then?
Okay, so speaking at a recent Awesome Con panel, he teases, "I'm not sure how successfully Clara was able to wipe his mind. In fact, I was about to tell you something. I can't tell you." He adds, "I just shot something that Clara was still there in." However, given that Capaldi has not yet started filming Doctor Who, seems he was probably talking about his rumoured appearance in spin-off Class.
Yeah,
which we won't reveal any spoilers.
No, but to be honest, I think I would have no objection to Clara turning back up in Class.
No, I wouldn't.
And similarly, the Doctor.
I'd like the Doctor and Clara in Class.
Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't necessarily have to be, because it could have already happened, couldn't it? It doesn't necessarily mean
it could be when he was the caretaker.
Yes, exactly. Could have been. In fact, that would make it far better if that was the whole context of Class. I'm still not completely sold on the whole benefit of Class as a spin-off.
He should be what starts all of the things off in the first episode.
That's true. That could happen, couldn't it?
I think he might only be in one episode if he does appear.
Sorry, I was drinking then. I had too much in my mouth. Like I was trying to come back. But yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on Class generally? Do you think it's a bit of a tangent? But are you
I'm
looking forward to it or
not
not?
Too fond of the idea of Class, to be honest. It depends where they take it. It just seems like there could be much better spin-offs, and we'll talk about that next week.
Okay. Yeah.
But seems like there could be in our feature next week, but it seems there could be much better ideas for spin-offs. This would be one of the latter. Do you think that they have filmed it? or are filming it.
Yeah.
Do you think that William Russell should make a cameo? He is quite old now, but do you think he'll make a brief cameo?
It'd be brilliant.
It would.
I think of all the things that we had in the 50th, that's the one thing I think would have been nice to have had, which they didn't.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, maybe when with the school and everything, it would be quite nice.
That would have been good. Or in the caretaker, even.
Yeah, anything. But it would be nice to have that sort of heart back, wouldn't it?
But I suppose Day of the Doctor would have been more,
Yeah, it would have been a magic moment.
It would.
Of which there were many in that particular story.
There were. And some which weren't. So magic.
Do we have other news as well, or is
we do have
the return, the goddammit return of
Clara Oswald,
Richard, Clara woman? Do we know?
Okay, so a couple of snippets of news have come to us over the last, couple of days. The first one is that Mark Gatiss has stated that he is going to be scripting the 9th episode since the show has returned. He confirmed the inevitable in an interview with Who SFX when quizzed about his first contribution. It seems so natural now as I write my 9th episode, 10 if you count the unproduced one, but the 45-minute format took some getting used to. Up to this point, he's penned I'm Quite Dead, The Idiot's Lantern, Victory of the Daleks, Night Terrors, Cold War, Crimson Horror, Robot of Sherwood, and Sleep No More.
It's a bit of a mixed bag, really, there, isn't it, when you look at that? But I know we've talked about that before, about the mixed bag.
What ones of those ones are good episodes? Which ones of those aren't so good?
I've never seen The Idiot's Lantern, although I like the look of that one. I know it's not particularly popular, is it, when you look at this? I don't think. But
no, actually, it's one of the most popular Mark Gatiss ones. Is it?
The ones that I really do like a lot are the Cold War and the Crimson Horror.
Me
so
too.
Both the two from that
Me too.
same. Was that the final season with Matt Smith or the one before final?
It
was Matt Smith's final one, wasn't it?
That was the Matt Smith's proper final series.
Yeah. So I like those ones, but the others, take them or leave them.
Yeah. So he has indicated he may follow Sleep No More up with a sequel. It does have an unhappy ending, he said. Earthshock might be the last time that happened. The Doctor loses. Doesn't mean they're going to win eventually. The Doctor knows something's wrong, so he's not fooled. And I do have a sequel planned.
It was actually, I mean, of all the Doctor Who episodes, excuse me, of all the Doctor Who episodes of all time, it was one of the strangest ending ones, wasn't it? I mean, I remember us commenting on the time that we had no idea what was going on, and neither did he.
No.
So,
I didn't.
Do you like the idea of there being a sequel to it or not? Or would you just rather they'd left it there?
I do think they should have left it there, but it's interesting to see where they're going to take it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I wonder what it would be called.
Sleep No More 2.
2.
Yeah.
Or Sleep No More again.
Sleep even more.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah. That's an interesting bit of news though. And can I ask you something? I mean, it's just something that I got thinking about a little bit, following on from, I think it was something we were listening to. It's one of the discussions that they were talking about on Radio Free Skaro. Probably not this week's episode, because we always listen to it a week later, don't we?
Yeah.
But the week before. And they were talking about Stephen Moffat and the fact that probably Moffat's original intention was to have left at the end of the season we just had.
Yeah.
And the only reason he didn't leave then was because Chris Chibnall, who'd be the following showrunner, couldn't start it up yet because of his commitments with Broadchurch.
Yeah.
And it raises a very interesting point, because it does have you sort of questioning, will Moffat's heart be in it? Will we get really exciting stories next time around, or will it feel like it's he's perhaps having to come up with more than what he'd intended to. And what's your thoughts on that?
I don't want it to be rubbish.
No.
Nobody wants it to be rubbish. I think Moffat is very imaginative, so I think he'll come up with some good storylines. I bet there'll be some what's the
Duffers. There'll be some duffers.
Yeah, there'll be some really bad episodes. I bet you there'll be one which everyone, or it's a Marmite episode at least.
Yeah,
there'll be at least a Marmite episode.
I think actually, in a way, thinking about that whole concept and the fact that he hadn't actually intended to do any more, sort of part of me wishes in a way that rather than doing a whole another series, they'd had a stopgap of specials similar to what they did with David Tennant.
The reason they didn't do series 10 this year apparently is because of the Olympics. I hate that. Why?
Me too, because I hate the Olympics, but
I liked it when it was in London, but I don't think it'll be any good this year.
Yeah, it's just I like the football, and the football's obviously on at the moment, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
it's literally on at the moment. It's on the corner of the room here.
Yeah, but you can't see it because we're
But you can't see it.
We're live on a Google Hangout, which has no video.
Which has no video.
No video.
Well, it does. We could put video on if we wanted to, but
we could switch it to video, but we like to stay anonymous.
And because we're sat here recording in our underpants.
Yes, we are. Bit of a disturbing thought for you, everyone.
I think. So going back to where I was coming from on that one, I think what would have been quite interesting would be to have gone to that sort of like special type of approach, like they did with the 10th when they were coming towards that particular period of time. And because I think whilst he may not have intended to do any more, I guess what we do know is that there are still some unanswered questions, aren't there?
Yes.
So we mentioned a little bit about Missy's son or daughter. I can't remember whether it was clear which one.
Daughter, I think.
Yeah. So that to me is unanswered. We don't know what they were going with that. So
I think that'll be revealed when Missy returns, as we revealed last week. Was it last week? I think it was last week.
Yeah.
No, it was. Yeah, I think it was.
But it is an interesting thought, because often it must take a lot coming up with stories as complex and tied in as Stephen Moffat does, and therefore he'd probably had the ideas for a lot of the stories that he'd done in the last series for some time.
He probably did.
So all of a sudden he has to come up with some more. So it'd be interesting to see what the quality of those would like.
He's doing episode 1 and the final 3, I think. He's meant to be doing, at least.
I'm saying, because that's slightly less than what he's done.
I bet he'll do some co-writes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
He said, and he'll do more when he can.
Yeah.
But there's 12 episodes this series.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think the final, it might be a 3-parter at the end. It should be.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It would be good if there was a 3-parter, so it was on. No, it wouldn't be, because it's in the spring. I hope. What do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be the last episode as a Christmas special, or the first episode of Chris Chibnall's as a Christmas one?
I think the first thing that Chibnall will do will be in episode 1 in his own series.
Yeah. It'll be a pain.
Although
I hope that Peter Capaldi doesn't leave on a Christmas special.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Do you think there has to be a Christmas special each year?
They do get quite a lot of views. They probably think so. Yeah. I don't.
Does it have to?
I'd rather they didn't do a Christmas special if they're going to make Peter Capaldi and Stephen Moffat leave. Only if they do a 2-parter like what happened with End of Time.
That's the next thing I was going to ask you, really, was, is there a need for a Christmas special to be festive?
No.
Because they have been the last few years, haven't they? I mean, even the final one with Matt Smith, although it wasn't overly Christmas, it still had they were in a place called Christmas, for God's sake.
End of Time wasn't really Christmasy.
No. No, and I guess there were Christmas trees and things about it. It was based at Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they can still have it based at Christmas, but it doesn't have to be like Christmassy.
No.
I think End of Time worked well because of it not being Christmassy.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Okay, so any other news? We've gone off on a right tangent there.
Yeah, I didn't expect that news article to go that far.
So it's funny, actually. We pretty much did. That was like a main item, wasn't it? In its own right, just splintered off from the news. So.
Okay, so last week we talked about the Bamford's television and film memorabilia auction thing. And this week we can announce that they've sold some stuff. So the rare 1960s Dalek has been sold at the auction for a record-breaking amount of £38,000, equivalent to $55,000, you American listeners.
Excellent. That's amazing, isn't it?
I know.
So a little bit out of our price range.
It is. But he's the guy who has the largest range of television and film memorabilia in history.
It was obviously Paul McCartney, wasn't it? It cost that much money.
Yeah.
Or somebody similar. That's interesting. So sorry, where's this person live? So they live in London. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, excellent.
So the entire collection sold for more than £90,000.
Yeah.
It included a Cyberman from classic story Earthshock that was sold for £2,000, and a TARDIS from Doctor Who stage show that fetched £1,000.
Excellent.
Cybermen and the Ice Warrior were really cool, weren't
they? They were, yeah. So I mean, they were 2,000 a piece by the looks of it. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any other news at all?
I think we have one more bit, at least. Yeah, one more bit. So,
what on earth is going on here? So,
it's over the last couple of months, maybe the last year, probably. Yeah. We've been covering articles about the Lethbridge Stewart ongoing novels.
Yeah.
And now Candy Jar Books have announced a new digital-only short story, The Band of Evil, which is free to all subscribers to the 2016 range of Lethbridge Stewart novels, and those who order the next novel, The Showstoppers. Candy Jar Books, they're pleased to announce the story, and Lethbridge Stewart editor Sean Russell has joined forces with Candy Jar author Roger J. Simmons to pen this story of rock music aliens on the rank page in Wembley.
Amazing, the cover's got this picture of an alien playing an electric guitar, haven't they?
Yes, and loads of people cheering. So the book also contains a chapter of Roger's autobiography, Standing on the Sidelines. Roger's life has been a rock and roller coaster of a journey. Highlights of his remarkable career include playing the Tours Club in Soho at the height of its popularity, being part of the only Welsh group to play the Cavern Club, working alongside the influential record producer John Meek, getting drunk with the Craze, and being present when Tom Jones got his name.
Just a little aside there. I've played the Cavern Club before, by the way.
Have you?
Yeah.
So it's given free to every person who pre-orders the Showstoppers, which is due out at the end of June. All subscribers will receive the short story automatically, as will those who purchase any of the bundles on the 2016 series.
Excellent. Interesting idea, that. I wonder. Yes. It immediately jumps out to me and looks like it's something from the Sylvester McCoy era.
It does.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's got that sort of cheesiness about it. But maybe it'd be great. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Let us know, readers.
Yeah.
Of the Lethbridge Stewart novels.
So is that all of it? Is that wrap up our news?
I believe it is.
Okay. So what's the next item?
So last week we discussed regeneration, and we thought, what are we going to do next week? So we this week talked about Doctor Who and all other sources of media.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So where should we start with this then?
I don't mind. Where do you think we should start? Or what source of media do you think?
Well, I think we've probably got three main things, which would be in the movies.
Yes.
We've got audio.
Yes.
And we've got book, written form.
Yeah, magazines and books.
So let's start with the films then. So, handful of things going on here, haven't we?
Peter Cushing and Paul McGann.
Yeah, which takes us back to our expensive Dalek, doesn't it?
Yes, really? It does.
So, in terms of movies that have been on the cinema, because I don't, if I'm right, I don't think the Paul McGann one. I don't think it was ever in the cinema, was it?
No, it was a TV movie.
TV movie.
That's why it's called Doctor Who, the TV movie.
The TV, it is in there. You're right. Yeah. So we've got the very early ones that you mentioned earlier on. So, what they call it? Is it Doctor Who and the Daleks? Is it?
It is. Yeah.
And what's the second one? Doctor Who, Dalek Invasion.
Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD.
Now, those films aren't canon, are they?
No, they aren't. And I've watched one of them. I've watched Doctor Who and the Daleks.
Yeah.
Don't know if I've watched all of it. I can't think now.
I loved it when I was a kid, by the way. I loved that film.
Really? It's an alright film as a film.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not Doctor Who. It's all wrong. The Doctor's human.
Yeah.
Barbara's also the Doctor's granddaughter.
Is that right?
Yeah,
But it's, in terms of it just being a film, it's all right.
It was a good film.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's not really memorable, in my opinion. But,
Isn't there a bit when all the Daleks get knocked over? And the Daleks get pushed over or something?
I think that's in the second one.
I've got a feeling that happens at some point. I'm pretty sure it does. And it sort of immediately, to me, it brings to mind Daleks being hit by chairs. Because chairs are their worst enemy, as your figure adventures prove.
They do.
So let's skip on past the movies then. I mean,
what about
we
the Paul
do
McGann movie?
I wasn't going to mention that because I was thinking of the context of things
that
like at the cinema.
Yeah.
What about because it should be hitting these screens again next year when
Timequake K9.
The K9 movie, yeah.
Yes.
What do you reckon to that?
I'm looking forward to seeing Omega.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be too good.
No, I'm guessing it's going to be aimed at as a kid film.
I haven't got high hopes for it.
No. I wish they weren't using Omega as well. There's so many things they could have used in that.
Hopefully, it would be good if it was a way to introduce Omega into the television series, but I don't think so.
I don't think it will either. Is it being made by the BBC or is it being made separately? Do we know?
I don't know.
Because obviously there was the spin-off series previously, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Of K9.
I don't know whether it is or not.
And will K9 look like K9 of old and K9 of the Sarah Jane Adventures, or will it look like it did in that other thing?
I bet it will look like what it did in this spin-off series.
Yeah. Is it a film or is it a cartoon? Do we know? Do we know anything about it at all?
No.
I mean, yeah, okay. So
I guess it's an actual film.
Yeah.
We don't know anything other than it's got K9 and Omega and it's next year and it's called Timequake.
No doubt we'll go and watch it anyway, won't we?
Just to review it on the podcast.
Check it out, see what it's like.
It's a pain it's not this year, so there was something this year.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah. But okay, so we've got that then. So I mean, in terms of, let's go on to audios then.
Okay.
Now, audios to me fall into two main categories. You've got the audio books, which would be somebody reading one of the novels.
Yes.
And then you've got the audio plays, which is predominantly what we see with Big Finish.
So with the Big Finish, they own titles to the 8th, 10th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 1st, 3rd, and 2nd Doctors, and War Doctor, as well as loads of spin-off series including Jago and Lightfoot unit and loads of other stuff.
Yeah, Torchwood.
Torchwood, yeah.
They even have, how cool is this? Big Finish have done Judge Dredd and Strontium Dog.
They have.
And they've done Blake 7, haven't they, as well?
They have. They've done loads of stuff.
Sapphire and Steel. Lots of really cool things. What's your take on it? And we talked a little bit about it earlier on when we were talking about what we'd done during the week, because you'd watched a few, you've been listening to some of the Paul McGann Terraform.
Yeah.
What's your general thought on Big Finish?
I like Big Finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know it. The audio plays, they're a Doctor Who. They just feel like it. Do you find it easy enough to follow what's going on when you can't see it? It's surprising, but you can.
Yeah. Because I've listened to a few radio plays before. I'm a big Tolkien fan, and although I'd read Lord of the Rings, I also then listened to the BBC's radio play of Lord of the Rings, and I followed that easy enough. But I didn't know how much that was because I knew the story already.
For me, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
In Terra Firma and from previous audio stories.
Yeah.
That I've watched.
Yeah. Do people sort of introduce themselves far more? So it's like if somebody comes in, it's different with Paul McGann because you immediately recognise his voice. But if you've got somebody called, I don't know, Fred Honeycomb, if he comes on, would he go, "Oh, I'm Fred Honeycomb," just so that you know in future that's
not necessarily. They will mention them at least once. They will mention their name,
which I think is probably the way you have to go with these sorts of things, isn't it? To get around that initial problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, should I just click on the Big Finish website to see what other ranges Doctor Who Big Finish has extended to?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go on for ages because.
But I think this is probably the biggest of the other merch areas.
So they've got main range, they've got Fourth Doctor and Eighth Doctor adventures. They've got the Companion Chronicles. They have the Destiny of the Doctor, the Early Adventures, the Lost Stories, Bernie Summerfield Adventures, Philip Hinchcliffe Presents, Short Trips, Special Releases, Stage Plays, Novel Adaptions, Fifth, First, Second, Third, Fourth, Sixth, Seventh, Eighth, New Series, War, 10th, Diary of River Song, and
that's astounding, isn't it?
And Unit, and Sarah Jane, and I Davros, and more.
So let's just forget the Omega Factor. That's presumably not Omega?
No, it's got Louise Jameson in, but it's not Doctor Who, I don't think.
Okay. So, what about there's a few names in there that you mentioned, like you mentioned Bernie something or other.
Bernie Summerfield.
So who's Bernie Summerfield?
She's a star of one of the books, I think. One of the old classic books.
Okay.
So in the New Adventures books, have you heard of that?
No.
New Adventures.
Okay.
Doctor Who books.
So you brought it up on the screen at the moment. So we've got the New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield, Volume 2, Triumphs of Sutekh. And so, although it's obviously based around Bernie Summerfield, by the looks of it,
Sylvester McCoy is in it
as the Doctor. So definite links there, isn't there?
Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred are in it.
Okay. Well, that's quite cool, isn't it?
Oh, Gabrielle Wolfe, who played Sutekh in the original ones.
Is that right?
I think he played someone in Pyramids of Mars.
So if you were going to delve into a non-Doctor Who Big Finish audio, what would you go for?
Can it be slightly Doctor Who?
Yes, it's going to have a Doctor Who link, but it's not. It's not, say, Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor. It's just it's like a spin-off to the Doctor Who universe, the Who-niverse.
Okay. Let me skim through. The Torchwood ones are meant to be really good.
Yeah.
I find River Song really annoying. Let's see. I'm going to go with Okay, I've never watched it, but I'm going to go with Torchwood.
Okay.
What would you say?
It mentioned the Sarah Jane ones on there. I mean, were those ones that were done before Elizabeth Sladen died?
Yes, they were.
So that they are actually proper audiobooks, aren't they? Can we have a look at one?
They were. It were ages ago, I think they did them. Sarah Jane Smith.
Jacob and Lightfoot ones would be interesting because I mean they were really great characters in Talons of Wang Chiang, weren't they?
Yeah, look these.
Oh, brilliant. So do these Sarah Jane adventures? Do they predate the series of Sarah Jane?
2006, yeah, I think so.
Oh wow, that's brilliant, isn't it? So these probably don't have her little clan in them, do they? No, they don't. So they're not like. So they came out basically before
Sarah Jane
Adventures. Yeah.
Now, okay. Recently, Big Finish have had the license to do the new series of Doctor Who. They've extended to War and 10th Doctor Adventures. They have done a new unit series with Gemma Redgrave and Ingrid Oliver. They have had. What was it called? They had Torchwood with John Barrowman, Gareth David Lloyd, and Eve Miles. Plus, they have had classic Doctors, new monsters. They've had Churchill Years starring Ian McNeice, and Diary of River Song with Alex Kingston and Paul McGann.
I mean, the extent of stuff that they put out is phenomenal, isn't it?
It is.
You know, I don't know how even that person that spent £38,000 on a Dalek, I don't know how anyone could afford to keep that up to date.
I know.
With this level of Who merch.
It shows how much it costs to be a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, if you were actually going to do everything, get everything that there is, firstly, you probably wouldn't have time to work or anything, so therefore you'd have to have inherited that money.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff. Could you really watch and listen and read all of the stuff that actually comes out? You'd have to be completely obsessed, wouldn't you?
Mm.
Is anyone that obsessed? It would be interesting to see whether there's anyone that actually has got everything.
Yeah.
So,
should we move on to book form?
Just very briefly before we do, and it does link in a little bit there.
Okay.
Because the other sort of audio that we talked about isn't the plays; it's the audio books. Do you prefer audio plays than audio books?
I do, because they make much more sense.
Yeah. See, I love a good audio book. I mean, I've not listened to any Doctor Who ones, but I tend to find that I will listen to audiobooks rather than read these days, just because I can do that whilst I'm doing other things.
I prefer audio plays.
Mm-hmm.
What do you prefer?
Doctor Who, I think I'd probably prefer audio plays. A normal novel, I probably would prefer an audio book.
I didn't like when I listened to the Matt Smith one a while ago that I got.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it, and then on an audio book.
Who read it? Just a random person.
It was Matt Smith and this other woman. I can't think who it was now, but she did the voice of the Doctor, and the Doctor did the voice of Amy.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. Very weird. Okay. So moving on then to the written form. Again, a lot of stuff out there, and we've already talked about the Lethbridge Stewart books. We know that there's the Target books.
We do.
We've got like the magazines and things that are out, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much Doctor Who merchandise, isn't there?
There is.
If you look at magazines, you've got the magazine that you buy, the monthly one.
500 issues it's recently celebrated.
Yeah, we've got the Doctor Who Adventures, the children's version. We've got the comics.
Yeah, and we've got the figurine collection.
Yeah, that's still going, is it? Yeah. DVD
files has stopped now.
Yeah, so there's so much stuff, isn't it? There's so much merchandise out there. If you did have that amount of money where you could just go out and buy everything, what do you think you would concentrate on? of all of those things? Would you?
I'd concentrate on big finishes.
Yeah.
I'd buy Doom Coalition or Dark Eyes first.
Yeah.
I think Dark Eyes, that would make much more sense.
I think someone like me who I work not too far away from where I live, but I have sort of like about a 40-minute, probably about a 30-minute journey in every day. So audiobooks and things are brilliant for me.
Yeah.
So I can listen to that sort of thing whilst I'm travelling along.
Yes.
And so you'd probably find that, once you finish school and you've got a little bit more time and you start working and stuff like that, maybe you'll be able to sort of listen to a lot more of these sort of things.
Maybe.
Yes. Does that do us for this article?
I think so, unless you've got anything else to say.
No, I mean, time's moving on a little bit, so we probably need to get on to our review, don't we?
I suppose we better do.
So, did you want to just introduce what we've watched?
So, last week, the magic randomizer button picked out the episode Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks on the randomizer. And that's a two-parter, starring David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. Deco, what is it about?
Okay, so it's the Doctor, played by David Tennant.
Yes, of course.
With Martha.
Yes, played by Freema Agyeman.
Yeah, so this is the second season of David Tennant.
Yes.
Yeah. So the two of them arrive in New York City. They arrived during the period of the Great Depression, which is sort of the 1930s, and they land at the Statue of Liberty, which is pretty impressive from Martha's perspective. They find this newspaper article which talks about people disappearing from Hooverville, which is like a sort of slum town, really, in the Central Park. There's this wealthy businessman who's called Mr. Diagras, and he's basically coming to Hooverville to recruit workers for the sewer construction. Excuse me. The Doctor, Martha, excuse me. Doctor, Martha, and Solomon, who's sort of like the leader of the of Hooverville. They sort of sign up as long as this young lad called Frank. And excuse me, whilst I died for you live on air. And basically, when they get to this, what they're told is a collapsed tunnel they've got to move, but it doesn't actually. They find no collapsed tunnel. What they find is this group of pig slaves. They're forced to run away from the pig slaves. What they find out is that the pig slaves are actually slaves that have been developed by the Daleks. Oh dear me! So I said I didn't cough very much. As soon as I started talking a lot, it's come back on.
Yeah, it has. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's two sort of like main areas, isn't there? So you've got what's going on in Hooverville,
yes,
and then you've also got this fairly annoying American Tallulah
who's putting on this fake accent, clearly. Yeah,
and her boyfriend Laszlo, who mysteriously disappears. Tallulah's a sort of like a showgirl. And basically, oh, this is a nightmare. So basically, what we've got is the sort of two stories running hand in hand. The Doctor meets up with Tallulah, tries to work out what's happened with Laszlo. Turns out he's been turned into a pig slave. The Daleks are behind all of this. Daleks are behind all of this because there's only 4 of them that are left.
Yes,
from the Cult of Skaro. And basically what they're trying to do is create a new version of the Daleks, a sort of human Dalek hybrid to take over.
Yes. To
keep the race going. So I'm going to go and have a good cough. You give your thoughts on what you think of this episode.
Okay. I think this episode by Helen Rayner is quite underrated, to be honest. It's by the same writer of Sontaran Stratagem, I think. It's by the same writer as Sontaran Stratagem, isn't it? Deco.
Apparently it is, and I can see a lot of similarities between the two of those because they're both using classic villains. They're both all right. Yeah?
Yeah.
They're all right. There's a lot of...
it is.
I mean, if we take... I much prefer this than the Sontaran Stratagem.
Yes, I do.
But whilst there's a lot of things that I really like about it, for instance, the look and feel.
Yes.
I think it looks and feels really
does.
good. There's a lot of things I don't like about it as well.
There are, like Tallulah.
Well, we talked the other day, didn't we? We thought with reviews, we might throw in this new thing called Too Good, Too Bad.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Because it's a clever title.
But that seems like just a second ago we chatted about it, and it was Wednesday.
It was. So, what do you think? Too good?
Okay, too good. As you said, the design, the design of the episode just feels so good. It just looks.
Manhattan looks really good, doesn't it?
Good.
The old Manhattan.
Yeah.
What? Anything else on it? I know something else I think is good.
And
that's one of the characters.
Oh, Solomon.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah,
isn't he?
He is. We won't spoil what happens.
No, indeed. But he's a good character, I think. So if we were looking at too bad.
Tallulah's annoying.
Yeah.
She's an idiot.
Yeah, she's quite an annoying character, isn't she? Do you also think, because my opinion changed a little bit between episode 1 and episode 2, I didn't really like the whole thing of the Dalek hybrid.
Yeah. Do you think
when it first happened?
Yeah. Did you like the Dalek hybrid? Because personally, it's a good idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
We both weren't sure about it in the first part.
Yeah, I think it's the way it's done in the first part. It just seemed a little bit cheesy. But once the hybrid,
feels RTD.
I do like the whole idea of the human emotion coming into it.
Yes.
And I think that works really, really well. The design of the hybrid is quite cool. I think
it is, with the little things coming off of his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one eye and everything.
But there's stuff that's really good and stuff that's really really cheesy.
Yeah, there are.
It's
quite a few.
I mean, if we were looking at it from when we placed it in our charts earlier on, it's nearer the bottom than it's the top. I can't remember where we placed it now. Can you? I think it was. Try and find it.
Yeah.
Try and load up the. Do you know what I say? If assuming it saved it from when it.
Yeah. Okay. Mine's 53 out of 66.
That's the 66 things we've watched since the randomizer started.
And Dad's is slightly high. Decal's slightly higher with Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks.
Yeah. So overall,
all right.
It's an all right episode. It plays
better
a lot
than
on.
People will say it.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. It's because people generally hate it, don't they?
They do.
I think it plays a little bit too much on the whole Martha fancies the Doctor thing. And
it does.
And I find that sort of like fairly frustrating, really, throughout the whole of Russell T Davies's run. There always has to be this sort of emotional sort of thing, particularly during David Tennant's era.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, I guess he was a fairly young, good-looking guy, but it's a bit annoying that all of the assistants have to fancy him.
Even Captain Jack.
Even Captain Jack. There we have it. So overall, yeah, not the best episode in that series, because there's some cracking stories in that series, isn't there? And this is the series that gave us Blink and Family of Blood.
It was not one of the better ones in the season.
No, but it's a fairly watchable one, isn't it?
Yes.
Very watchable one. Where do you think it ranks in terms of Dalek episodes?
Well, we've watched all apart from Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways in the randomizer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean overall in Dalek episodes?
Yeah.
Probably somewhere nearer the bottom.
Probably is, isn't it? At least it tries to come up with a new stab at it, doesn't it? So the whole concept of the Dalek human hybrid is at least something new.
Yeah. You must think Dalek is better than this episode.
Do you know? I'm not sure. I do. I know that makes me a fool.
It does.
But
no offense.
I don't know what. There's just something I don't really like about the story Dalek, and it's not me being sort of weird. Well, it probably is me being weird, but it's not me being deliberately awkward, because people like that episode so much. But there's just something just doesn't do it for me in that story.
Okay.
And I can't
it's
put my
your
finger
opinion.
on it. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. I just don't really like that episode much. Okay, So should we move on to the random generator?
Oh no, I've got to do scores.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Okay, Monster. What do you rate it out of 10?
It's Daleks, but by this point we're probably a little bit bored of Daleks.
We are.
7.
Character development.
It's actually quite interesting. I'm picking up on what we were talking about earlier on about the development of the Daleks when they build into the human element. That is quite interesting. So I think I might give it an 8.
Okay. And excitement.
Excitement. So the exciting bits in it, the bits that are meant to be exciting, I don't necessarily find that exciting. I don't get, sort of, I know we've talked the main bit about it, but one of the bits I don't like in it is the bit where the flying Daleks are attacking him.
Yeah,
I don't like it. It's just, it looks a bit naff.
It does.
And I think it makes me yearn for the days before the Daleks could fly.
Yeah. So what was your score?
So I'm gonna give it 7 for that.
Okay, and pace.
Pace, quite a nice pace to it. Probably 8 pace.
Okay, so that leaves us with an overall score of 30 out of 40.
Okay.
What's your overall episode score?
7.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a... What's 7 point?
7.0.
Really?
Yeah.
7.3 for me.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Yeah. It's a very watchable. It's a good fun episode.
It is.
But it certainly isn't a classic.
It certainly isn't.
So we're going to move on now to the randomizer. So for those that haven't listened to this show before, what we get with the randomizer is a big chunky spreadsheet full of every episode that's ever been made ever. We press the randomizer button and it randomly selects an episode to watch.
It does.
If it's one which we don't have, which isn't that many, it's predominantly those that nobody has because they've been destroyed, we obviously press it again. If not, we watch it.
Yes.
So
time
to press that magic randomizer button. Will we be getting a classic or a new?
Okay, let's see.
Okay. So we're
interesting.
We're keeping in the theme of New Who.
Yeah, we'll give the viewers a few clues just to see if you can guess at home.
Okay.
But it's going to be an episode with the 11th Doctor in. Matt Smith. It's got a very unusual enemy.
Yeah.
And it's got Amy and Rory in.
Okay.
It's, drumroll please, Para 3, which we'll be reviewing next week, which gives us a chance on Wednesday to do a new video.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, we'll do that then. So new video coming. You heard it first here. Which reminds me, actually, before we move on to the next item, one of the things we have posted this week is, or within the last week, is a new Behind the Sofa.
Yes, Husbands of River Song.
Yeah, so if you want to
see that on the list,
watch the two of us talking about that, because you get to view us on Behind the Sofa.
Yay!
Then give that a view.
And also, I'm scripting a new audio story.
As it stands, yeah, you are.
For Radio Who, called Human Factor.
Brilliant.
So that'll be interesting.
Okay, so let's move on to our 3-minute rant.
Can you get the timer ready?
Yeah,
please?
yeah, we can indeed.
So,
should we use my? Oh no, I've got my phone's plugged into my weird. Let's quickly get a. Let's quickly
get
some. Yeah, let's quickly do that. So for anyone that hasn't listened to the
people may
the podcast
not have
before,
listened to this part.
It's quite a new bit, isn't it?
It is. We've only done it twice before, I think.
So basically, what we have is a timer of 3 minutes, where the other one of us will give the one of us a topic to rant about for 3 minutes.
So last time it was, for you to me, was a female doctor. What was the opinions?
Yeah.
And from me to you, it was about the Master, a brief history of the Master. And you're going to ask me first, I think.
I am, and I had a really great topic a minute ago, and it's just completely gone out.
I've got one for you in a second, but I'm just gonna set up this timer, which is here.
Yeah.
And that is there.
Okay, I'm just going to quickly try and think what it was I was going to ask you about. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I've got one for you.
Okay.
So you're going to go first, are you?
You're going to ask me first.
I'm going to ask you a question first. Okay, so your 3-minute rant is about what do you make of the Doctor love interests?
Should I start?
Yep. 3 minutes start now.
Now it's going to be one of my other comedy 3-minute rants like last time when I talked about female doctors. Oh no, look, the Doctor's kissing someone. Is that a good thing? Or is it not? Mwah, mwah, mwah. This isn't time filling, by the way. Actually, that was. The Doctor has love interest, starting off in the TV movie when the Doctor kissed Grace Holloway twice for a long period of time. And that kind of got a bit boring after a while. But then, in New Who, it was reintroduced. And it's probably because of an American audience and a modern day audience, probably, and the David Tennant lovers of the world. But I personally do not like. I personally do not like the Doctor's love interests because it just doesn't feel right. I mean, the Doctor is half human on his mother's side, but it just feels weird with him. It just feels weird of him being in love with his companion. It just feels like, now I know Deacon will hate me for this. No, he won't hate me for this. Never. But I suppose it was better when it was the Doctor and Donna together. And I don't think the Doctor and Amy had a love interest at any point either, did they? Not really.
Not really, no.
It's good when they're just friends as companions. Mm-hmm. But when you take Grace, Rose, Martha, and Clara, it just doesn't feel right how the Doctor has a love interest, as the companions and the Doctor should be friends. That's what the chemistry, the dynamic between the Doctor and his companion should be. It's all right, the Doctor falling in love with a supportive character, but when you've got it as an ongoing theme in the series where the Doctor loves someone, it's just too soppy. And Doctor Who shouldn't be soppy, and it shouldn't be ruined by this stupid topic that's on 3-minute rant. It shouldn't be ruined by love. Coughing, and that's why there shouldn't be any coughing on the 3-minute rant. Thank you.
And there's your 3-minute rant. Before I start mine, I'm going to have to have a good cough a second.
Okay.
What I would like to just say, though, is actually the interesting thing about it is you can take the love interest back to even to the William Hartnell years, can't you?
You can, but it wasn't with his companion.
No.
It was with a Kamika woman he engaged.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, as I said in the episode, in that 3-minute rant.
Yeah. Good. Well ranted, sir.
Okay, so my topic for you is why the Daleks have gotten boring.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay, I mean, the Daleks are probably, if people were to think about Doctor Who, the villain or the monster that I think most people would immediately think about are the Daleks.
Yes.
Because they probably are his first major foe that he ever met. And I think in those early years, we had some absolutely fantastic episodes featuring them. Not all of them I've seen, but some of them I've heard about. I think generally these early ones are rated really, really highly. And I think probably throughout the whole of the classic era, there still remained a sort of a threat to the Daleks. But since New Who's arisen, there's been some Dalek stories have really stood the test of time, or will stand the test of time, and others that feel like they are there purely because they need to feature the Daleks. And I think actually the need to feature the Daleks is one of the biggest problems. I mean, if it is true what they say, that they've always got to include the Daleks in every season, that's part of the problem. Now, maybe that it's just a sort of a fleeting glance at the Dalek saying exterminate, but more often than not, most series these days have a Dalek episode. So what's the problem with that? Well, the main thing is that the Doctor's continually defeated them. So are they really that threatening? Probably not in reality. The other sort of side of it as well is, how do they do something different with it? And we've seen a number of sort of successful takes on that. We saw Into the Dalek, which was a completely different view of how you do a Dalek story. We saw Asylum, which I think, again, took you back to the older styles of the Daleks and that worked on their sort of madness a little bit. And you had The Magician's Apprentice, which again seemed to breathe new life in it, mainly because it focused in more on the Davros character rather than the Daleks. But aside from that, there's also a lot of filler, isn't there? There's a lot of filler in the Dalek stories where what did you really do? Another invasion of the Daleks. The Daleks come back to Earth again. Whoopie do. We've seen it. And I don't think the problem is limited to Daleks either. I think it's a very similar issue we have with, say, the Cybermen, where the threat seems to have gone. So, personally, I don't think anymore you get the shock factor of the Daleks being there. It's there more from a commercial perspective in that it sells toys.
Okay.
3-minute rant over.
Good.
I enjoyed that.
Cool one. Yeah, I enjoyed mine.
Yeah, that was good. There's a couple of good topics there. Hopefully we didn't bore you too much for 6 minutes of us ranting.
Hopefully we didn't, but if you've got any opinions on those,
feel free to
our talk on Twitter and stuff that this week is going to be related to what's it going to be this week? Is it going to be, what should it be?
What should we talk about on Twitter this week? What should be the question that we ask? How about have the Daleks? Oh, let's ask a question around the Daleks, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Should it be have the Daleks gotten boring?
Yeah. Best and worst Dalek episodes.
Yeah.
How about
okay.
that? Best and worst Daleks.
Or should we just choose one?
I can give people the choice.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll be tweeting about that later.
Okay.
So that probably wraps up the show, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that leaves us with just a couple of things to do. First of all, what do we have on next week's show?
It's episode 164 next week, and we are going to be discussing ideas for future Doctor Who spin-offs.
Okay. We will be giving our review of The Power of Three.
We will be discussing the news.
We'll be doing another Who to Face.
And we will be pressing the magic randomizer button.
So that's great. I hope you've enjoyed listening to the show.
And we will see you next time. Same time.
Same space.
Is
that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's right.
That's our catchphrase.
But we don't have the theme tune now.
Oh no, we close the theme tune up. So yeah, we'll see you same time.
Well, no, don't say it yet. Make sure to stay tuned to next week's show. How did we come up with that catchphrase just from the spot?
I don't know.
How did we know that we were going to be going in?
Because every show needs to have a catchphrase, doesn't it?
We'll be here every single week from 4 o'clock in the same time and the same space. Goodbye.
See, that's the problem you get with a live show.
Yeah, and you know, there could have been a backup catchphrase, you know?
Yeah, it could have been.
Which could have been, there's also more news.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, you have to turn the microphone off, haven't you? Oh no!
Damn! See you next time.